Today on Judge Faith, childhood friends from Atlanta find themselves at opposite ends of an ugly dispute over money exchanged to buy a used car.
When we got to talking about the monies, she was like, I'm gonna loan you this $500 out of my son's charity. I said, you sure you want to do that?
I think he's a little bit delirious right now because I don't remember or recall any of that he's talking about.
If you needed to get to Duluth to get this car, to get this deal, you could have done it. This $500 was not forced upon you.
And later, a retired mechanic claims his former business partner kept the profits from the sale of a classic car they were restoring together.
Ever since I met this man, I have lost almost $20,000, man. He didn't give me no money. I spent $8,000 out of my pocket to get the car done right.
Why are you calling me a liar?
Because you are a liar.
I'm not here to decide what kind of man he is. I'm here to decide what happened to the 1967 Chevy Impala.
Faith Jenkins. Her distinguished legal career began when she graduated first in her law school class. She quickly became a tough New York City prosecutor and then a preeminent legal analyst on cable news. And now she's the judge in her own courtroom. Her cases are real and her rulings are final. She is Judge Faith. Plaintiff Beverly McDaniel says she gave the defendant a loan to buy a used car, and he got hostile when she asked for the money back. She's suing for a loan. Defendant Reginald Peak says he doesn't owe because he didn't really want the money, and Beverly breached their agreement when she rejected his partial payment.
All rise. Court is in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Please be seated. Your Honor, the litigants have been sworn in. This is the case of McDaniel versus Peak.
Thank you, Juan. Beverly McDaniel,
Yes, Your Honor.
you are suing the defendant Reginald Peak
Yes, Your Honor.
for $500 you say he owes you for a loan.
Correct.
Okay, I'll hear your case, ma'am.
Judge, I have been knowing Reginald ever since I was 7 years old. His sister is my best friend, or was my best friend. My son recently left to go be with the Lord. And
I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you, Judge. His sister recently, she helped me. She was there with me during the course before Reginald left with his graduation, and she just did a lot because we're best friends. And even after the fact, she helped me to do his funeral arrangement.
Okay.
Michelle came to me and asked me if I could loan him some money.
Michelle is your
His sister.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
To help them to get a car because Reginald was having a hard time going back and forth to work. And I felt that since they've been there so much for me, why not try to help them out the best way I can, since we have some funds left over from Reggie's foundation.
So your son's name was Reggie.
My son's name is Reggie.
And the defendant is Reginald as
too.
well. Okay. So you had money saved up to start a foundation for your son. What was the foundation about?
To help kids with exceptional needs. I hate the word special needs, so I always use exceptional because they are exceptional. What they go through, they are exceptional. So we giving back to them. We started a program to enhance their living life. Like we even started the program that's going to help them to funeralize. We pay for their spread. We help with their.
So you're doing that now as part of this program?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's great. At some point, you come into the picture, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Tell me about that.
Okay, we were supposed to have been going to Duluth, Georgia to get a car for me. The guy told me to bring him $300 down, and he would work out the rest of the payment for me, with me. Okay, I said, okay, and Miss McDaniel agreed to take me to Duluth. But on the way to Duluth, she said, no, let's stop at Parr's Cars because my son knows someone that works in Parr's Cars.
So you thought going to Duluth, because you're all from Atlanta, right? You thought going to Duluth to get a better deal?
Yes, Your Honor.
So she suggested you stop at Parr's Cars.
Yes, Your Honor.
And how much money did she loan you?
$500.
So you go to the dealership, and what happens?
We goes to Parr's Cars, and I'm talking to the sales lady, and the sales lady said, okay, we're going to do a credit check to see how much you would need down. So when she comes back, she said you would need $500. I said, I only have $300, but I have a deal out there in Duluth that I need to go take care of.
Did he say that? He had a deal in Duluth? Yes? No?
No, ma'am. No, Judge. I'm so sorry.
So, Your Honor,
I'm so sorry. No.
When we got to talking about the monies, she was like, I'm going to loan you this $500 out of my son's charity. I said, you sure you want to do that?
Okay.
She was like, yes, but when can you pay me back? I said, I'll give it back to you in 2 weeks.
Okay, and when was that?
That was like in June of 2015.
Wait, that's that's over a year. That's almost a year and a half ago.
Yes, Your Honor. I was supposed to have been going to Duluth to where I'd already made an agreement with the man to pay him $300 down. So why would I want to put myself in more debt knowing that I didn't have the $500 to begin with?
Okay. So you say no to the $500 then, right?
No, I did not, Your Honor. I took it.
Because that's the solution to the problem. If you have a deal in Duluth, you say, no, I can't do this. I've got to go to Duluth. If you can't take me, I got to find somebody else.
Well, that's correct as well, but she was my main transportation at that time. Mm-hmm. You know.
Well, no, you had other people helping you out because you had been going to and from work.
No, a lot
How far
of
is
people,
Duluth from Atlanta?
About a good 30.
Okay,
30,
so there are other
miles.
options. You can take the bus. If you have a deal in Duluth, you can take the bus out there. You've had other people transporting you to and from work. This is the first time she's not your main source of transportation. She's just the one taking you to the car dealership because you've had other ways of getting around to and from work. It hasn't been her.
Yes, it was. She's helped occasions.
Okay, occasionally. But you
Yes.
said she was not your main source of transportation, right? What I'm getting to is if you needed to get to Duluth to get this car, to get this deal, you could have done it. This $500 was not forced upon you, right?
Yes,
You
it
were a
was.
willing participant because
No,
you
I
needed
wasn't,
a car.
Your Honor.
You weren't a willing participant?
No, Your
so
Honor.
she forced it upon you?
Yes.
How?
Because she could have took me to Duluth.
Coming up, the former friends disagree about the money conversations.
She gave you $500 towards the deposit. It comes from her son's foundation who just passed away and died. Come on. Why is it taking you so long to pay back $500?
And later, a retired mechanic and his former business partner battle over the profits from the sale of a classic car they restored together.
According to this message, you're going to give him a total of $3,400.
No, I don't recall.
What do you mean you don't recall?
Plaintiff Beverly McDaniel says she trusted Reginald to pay her back. She's suing for a loan. Defendant Reginald Peak says he doesn't owe because Beverly breached their agreement when she rejected his partial payment.
Was that the agreement that you would go to Duluth?
No.
But instead, you decide to go to Parr's Cars?
No, Judge, no. His sister made the suggestion, let's stop at Parr's Cars.
Was his sister there in the car with you?
Yes, she was. And she made the suggestion. I said, okay, we
No,
can
Your
go
Honor,
ahead.
that is not correct.
Yeah.
She suggested that we go to Parr's
The bottom
Cars
line
because
is,
her
the bottom
son
line is,
knows someone
whether
at Parr's
it
Cars.
was Duluth or Parr's Cars, there's $500 that was loaned, right? You're not
Correct,
you're not
Your Honor.
suggesting it was a gift. So my only question to you is, you said you would pay it back in 2 weeks. Even in that moment, when you're not in Duluth, you take the money and you say you'll pay it back in 2 weeks. For over a year, you've been driving this car, right?
Correct.
All you owe the plaintiff is $500. Clearly, she's the person that helped you get the car. She drove you to the dealership. She gave you $500 towards the deposit. It comes from her son's foundation who just passed away and died. Come on. Why is it taking you so long to pay back $500?
Your Honor, I
What's the
haven't
reason?
heard from Miss McDaniel in over a year, Your Honor.
Come on now. You haven't tried to make one payment, so you have to hear from
Yes,
her.
I
you know
did
you
make
owe
a
money.
payment, Your
Hold
Honor.
on. Now you know you owe money. She got to track you down. She have to call you to
No,
get
Your Honor, she came over to the house and I had $250 in my hand because, like I stated, I had to pay another
And what
$500
happened?
down.
What happened?
And she refused the $250.
Did you
No, I don't
refuse
want
money
that.
from
I want
him?
it all.
Did you
I mean,
refuse
so
money
what,
from him?
my hand
No,
was tied.
Judge, I think he's a little bit delirious right now because I don't remember or recall any of that he's talking about.
Did he ever offer you to
Wow.
pay you any money?
No, and when I went to, when he said he was going to pay me back at the beginning. But when I called Reginald on the phone, when we called him and I said, Reginald, Michelle actually called him on the phone and I said, Reginald, you're going to get, I need that money. The park that my son was at every year for the last 4 years, we've tried to give back to the community with those kids. That's a therapeutic camp. So half of those parents that come in there, they do not have money, even fees to pay to be at the camp. So I'm going to step in as the parent that I am and the child that I raised. We'll try to help the parents that can't give, that don't have the money that we, kind of have. So Reginald, I said, Reginald, I got to get these kids back to school. I got to get their book bags, their supplies, their wipes, their sanitizer. I got to get that. In the field that I'm in, I know what they take. They need their hands.
What did he say in response to that?
He told me, no, I got to get my credit together. I'm not giving you a blank thing. And I don't have no money for you right now.
He cursed
Honor, I did not curse
I'm
at that
gonna do
lady
this
not
job.
one
This is
time.
I'm gonna do
She
this
didn't
job
even
on
tell
this.
me she was giving money for kids and book bags and
God.
stuff
Does it
like
matter?
that.
If it doesn't matter, you have to pay her back? Does it matter?
Your Honor, we had a $250 agreement. I offered her $250. I gave her the $250 and told her I'll pay you in 2 weeks, next week.
You know what the response to that is? If someone says, I don't want half now and half later, you keep that half until you come up with the other half, and then you come to them with the whole. So, you see what I'm saying?
That's funny.
Yes, Your Honor.
It doesn't mean you don't have to pay it at all. It means you come up with the other half, and then you come to her with the $500.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
She breached the contract when she didn't accept the money.
Okay, y'all, I told y'all to stay off Google. And leave the legal stuff to people with the law degree, all right? $500 judgment for the plaintiff.
Thank you. Well, Reggie's place is going to go a long ways from here because now I can take the funds the money back that I lent out, and now I can go and help the kids with special needs.
I hate that her and my sister are not friends after all those years. So, I mean, I'm glad this is over and behind me, and maybe we both can move on.
We're always interested in what you have to say about our cases. Write us with your thoughts or comments. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, or my Instagram. I look forward to hearing from you.
Plaintiff Fred Schott says a defendant failed to share the profits from a classic car that they restored together. He's suing for money owed. Defendant Mike Vasquez says he doesn't owe because Fred got out of the deal before the car was finished and isn't entitled to the profits from the sale.
Fred Schott?
Yes.
You are suing the defendant Mike Vasquez, sir?
Right.
For $3,800 you say he owes you for money that you put into a car.
Yes.
And you explain to me what that means?
Okay, me and Mike here purchased a car for $2,000.
What kind of car, sir?
A 1967 El Camino.
And what was the reason for the two of you purchasing it together?
To buy it, paint it, put interior in it, and sell it.
Okay. Had you done this before with the defendant?
Yes, I've done a couple other cars with him before.
So you buy it, fix them up a little bit, you sell them for a profit and split the profit. Okay.
Flip them is what you call it, flip.
And you say what?
Ma'am, we bought the car for $1,200. We bought it from my friend, and I've been more than
$1,200?
$1,200.
Are you sure? You
Yes,
say
ma'am.
2,000, you say 1,200.
That's exactly what it is.
Which one of you has
gave him
proof?
1,000.
Do you have any proof, sir, that you paid $1,200 for the car? And do you have proof that you paid $2,000, that the car cost $2,000?
No.
Okay, so neither one of you have the paperwork as to how much you paid for the car. Let's proceed to the next part of the case. How much did you pay to fix the car up, total?
Total, I had $3,600 in the car. I have that down here on a text.
$3,600.
Yes.
You put into the car.
Yes.
Does that include the $1,000 you say you paid
Yes.
for the car?
Yes.
So $2,600 you say you paid to help fix this car up.
Yes.
What's your response to that?
Ma'am, okay, first of all, we bought the car for $1,200. He paid half, I paid half. We send the car over to the shop. We spent $1,700, and I have it right here. I have the receipt.
You went half and half on that?
Yes. He took in the car. He paid half up front. And when the car was ready, I went and picked it up, and I paid the second half. So they gave me the car. Then we brought it over to his house. But the car, it was terrible. I mean, the job, it was just nasty. Even his wife says, who painted this car?
The paint job.
The paint job.
Let me see the photo of the paint job you're referring to.
That's the way we bought the car. Everything was uneven. The door jambs wouldn't even close. In order for you to close the door, you needed to lift it, somehow push it in, and slam it after. That was the only way. That's the way we got it, but it was paint runs all around.
That's the first paint job? Did you say it was so bad?
He accepted the second paint job.
Okay, let me see the next photo. You had it redone.
Then I had it redone. Then I spent $8,000, $6,500 to the body shop, and I went and purchased everything brand new. I got all the moldings. I got the bumper, the front grille, the side moldings.
Did you eventually sell this car, sir, after
Yes,
you
I
fixed
did.
it up?
I
For
sold
how
it
much?
for $15,000 on eBay. But as you can see, everything is a
That's not
completely
bad.
beautiful car. The interior, everything is completely redone. Why? Because in order for you to sell these particular cars, you need to do a professional job. I mean, a classic, it's just it, a beautiful car. So it's a big difference. I changed the hood. I changed everything completely. I spent $8,000 after, and I was able to sell it for top dollar.
Coming up on Judge Faith, text messages reveal the rest of the story.
Okay, the deal is I will give you $2,400
I give him $1,500, ma'am. That's how much I give him.
I know how much you gave him. Was the deal that you would give him $2,400?
Plaintiff Fred Schott says Mike failed to share the profits from the classic car sale. He's suing for money owed. Defendant Mike Vasquez says he doesn't owe because Fred has already been paid his share.
If you sold it for $15,000, why didn't you give the plaintiff any of the money that he put in the car?
Basically, what happened is after we got it taken out from the shop, I told him, okay, well, either you buy me out or I buy you out. And then he says, well, I have no money to buy you out. So I went over to his house on a Saturday, and I gave him $1,500 cash. And then on a Monday, 2 days later, him and we went over to the DMV AAA, which is in Colima, and I registered the vehicle. Ma'am, I registered the vehicle under my name. And that's the reason, the same day.
Okay, so he gave you $1,500
Yes,
in
I
cash,
did.
sir? He gave you $1,500, right?
He gave me nothing, Your Honor.
I gave him $1,500
He didn't give you
cash.
He gave me
$1,500?
nothing. No, he gave
He's
me
lying.
nothing.
Your Honor,
Why are
that's
you
lying.
calling me a liar? Give me a
Because you
date
are a
that
liar.
Give me a date that
Mr.
you
Schott.
On a Saturday.
Why are you suing for $3,800?
Why? Because
You didn't
that's
even
what
put
he owed me.
$3,800 in the car.
No, I had $3,600. 34 actually, and then the upholstery. That's
How
all
are you
there.
going to prove that? This is your lawsuit.
Yes, ma'am.
You have to prove your case to me.
Yes.
There's a lot of money being exchanged back and forth between the two of you and
Okay.
very little paper trail.
He's jealous after I fixed the car and I got all the money for it. I mean, because the car turned out to be beautiful. It was a beautiful car. And that's the reason why he's so jealous, because he didn't get no money. I bought him out. I gave him $1,500 cash.
Well, all the text messages.
You know?
Let me see these text messages. So you say you gave him the $1,500
$100 cash.
On what? Do you remember the exact date?
I wrote it down on the piece of paper that you have in there, Your Honor.
This message says that you will give him $2,000 cash tomorrow. Go put the car in your name, and when you sell it, you'll give him the rest, $1,400.
I only have $1,500, so that's what I gave him, $1,500 cash.
Okay, but sir, do you understand what I'm saying, what the message says? You said that this is talking about the car in question. According to this message, you're going to give him a total of $3,400.
I gave him $1,500, which is, that's how much
But
we
did you
spent.
tell him you would give him $3,400?
No, I don't recall.
What do you mean you don't recall?
No, I don't recall.
What do you, sir, this is your text message. You say to him, I will give you $2,000 cash tomorrow.
Okay.
We go over to AAA, put it in my name. I will give you the rest, $1,400. What does that mean? What are you telling him?
I gave him $1,500 cash. That's all I gave him. And so that was equivalent to what he spent and what I spent. Because if you take...
Okay, the deal is I will give you $2,400. Can I pick you up tomorrow at 8:30 and we go over to AAA? What is that about?
He came with me.
And so, but you said the deal is you'll give him $2,400.
I gave him $1,500, ma'am. That's how much I gave him.
I know how much you gave him, but
Okay.
was the deal that you would give him $2,400?
I guess, yeah.
Coming up, Judge Faith rules. And now, Judge Faith rules.
What I want to say, ever since I met this man, I have lost almost $20,000, ma'am. And let me tell you why, okay? That's not the only car I have. I also have a 1959 Impala.
We're
not here for that.
Okay,
You're
yeah,
not doing
but I
nothing
just
with
want
me.
to make sure that you understand what kind of a man he is.
Well, listen, I'm
Okay.
not here to decide what kind of man he is.
Okay.
I'm here to decide what happened to the 1967 Chevy Impala.
Okay, well, I paid him off. I put the car under my name, then I fixed it right, and then I sold it.
I
That's
think
what
you sold
happened.
it and you didn't give him the rest of the money. Here's what we're going to do. Judgment in this case for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,900. I'm going to credit the testimony that he gave you $1,500. However, based on the text messages, I believe that he agreed to give you more. So my total judgment in this case is for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,900. Good luck to both of you.
Thank you. The judge's ruling, the way she saw it, was right. Not that he didn't owe me the money, he did. But neither one of us had proof.
He's going to go straight to his house, and I never want to see him again. That's for sure.
If you or someone you know has a dispute, don't take the law into your own hands. Let Judge Faith rule on it for you. To submit your case, go to judgefaith.com and tell us your story. See you in court.